Hampton Environmental Coalition. I'm Jim Matthews, co-chair, along with Laura Tooman, also co-chair. And we're going to be hearing today from a selection of our 26 members of the East Hampton Environmental Coalition that have been around through 3 elections so far, each time hoping to inform the public about all of the issues that are playing a role in the ongoing affairs of our town. We have a collective membership of over 4,000 people who we think care about the environment. I don't know if there is another group or section of the community as large as ours. And so we need to be represented as clearly and forcefully as possible at this time of year when elections are happening. To that end, we're going to be hearing from a subset of our group, some 6 or 7 groups, and we hope that we'll be able to provide for you a sense of the kinds of concerns that we have. Many of our concerns are in fact general, that is, not specific to a particular group. And those concerns often involve the election. That is to say, making sure that the population understands to the largest extent possible all of the issues that are at play in every election cycle. And so we hope that so in that case we work together, all 24 groups, to develop a common sense of what the environmental concerns are in any given election season. I'd like to welcome the East End Press Corps, which I think is represented by one person, but here today, and that's of course to whom we're speaking, and we hope we will be heard by many more as time goes on. One of the things that has to be emphasized, though, is that there are several other things that we do beyond this. One of which is called the Green Guide, which is a prepared set of statements on 6 crucial environmental issues in this election cycle. That Green Guide is available on the website of the New York League of Conservation Voters Environmental Fund, and we hope you'll take a look. Another thing that's going to happen is that we're going to we're going to conduct a survey of the candidates' opinions on a selection of issues that we think are key for the coming period of time. And that will be published, that too will be published on the website of the New York League of Conservation and perhaps elsewhere, actually, as we hope we develop our own website soon. We're going to also be supporting a conference, a discussion session that is primarily sponsored by the New York League of Conservation Voters Education Fund and the Concerned Citizens of Montauk. So those things will emerge in the very near future, and we hope you'll be attentive to those things as they come about. But today we're going to have a sampling of our considerable membership to give us a short summary of their concerns and activities in the coming years. So with that, I'd like to start with each person who will introduce themselves. First, Edwina Gonzalez.
Hi, Edwina Gonzalez from the Perfect Earth Project. We promote toxin-free land management on non-agricultural land for the benefit of people, their pets, and their planet. We fall into 5 of the 6 categories. There is a way that everyone can donate at no cost in their own property, or encouraging their neighbors to consider making a commitment to toxin-free management. Thank you.
I'm Susan Carter. I'm with the National Dark Sky Association, and we help educate the public and municipal officials
just about protecting the night sky. It addresses glare, light trespass, unnecessary or excessive lighting, or upwardly directed lighting. Light pollution wastes energy, adds air and water and sea pollution, adds to global warming, affects human and the plant health, and obliterates the stars. It's also easy to remediate. We help people understand that when we specify shields and better fixtures, direct the light where and when needed, and in the right amount, we can reduce light pollution. And we also advocate using bulbs, including LEDs, that are warmer in tone because blue light emitted from light bulbs can interfere with night vision, sky glow, and our eye health.
Hi, I'm Cortese. I represent the Leech Plains Association. We started off as a local community group to handle some of the issues and problems that affected our particular local community. We've since grown and expanded our venue, if you will, to the greater Montauk area, even East Hampton and the East End. We mostly deal with water quality issues, coastal erosion. The way we go about doing our part is by looking at certain individual establishments that we feel have not been living up to par with doing their septic systems or bringing their septic systems up to standard. We make sure that we communicate these kinds of faults to the local government, town board, planning board. We're there in the trenches, the CCA, and we hope in doing this kind of work, it's not so much singling out these establishments, but more to make sure that certain precedents are either set or not set that would affect and impact the greater community. We've done a lot in that area, and we've been very successful, and we hope to grow and continue to do that same work. Thank you.
My name is Laura Truman. I am president of the Citizens of Montauk. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone standing behind me on each side, as well as several other people who are not here today for their work on putting the Green Guide together. So I think it was a collaborative effort between many of us to put together a great document. Just briefly, Concerned Citizens of Montauk has been around for 47 years, preserving essentially Montauk. There is a reason why almost 70% of Montauk is borders. A lot of our members have done a lot of really hard work to keep it that way. At the moment, our three priorities are water quality, coastal conservation, and sustainable redevelopment. And those are many many issues that are identified in the Green Guide. I just want to take a minute to notify everyone here, if they haven't known, and everyone listening, on October 12th from 5 to 7 p.m., Concerned Citizens of Montauk is partnering with the New York League of Conservation Voters and hosting a candidates forum called East Hampton Environmental Candidates Forum, where we will have providing an opportunity for our town supervisor and town board candidates to answer some questions, address the community. So I want to, again, plug that October 12th, 5 to 7, Scoville Hall in Amagansett.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Neill, Executive Director of Taconic Baykeeper. We're one of over 300 organizations in the International Waterkeeper Movement dedicated to total, drinkable, and drinking waters. We work with the Taconic Estuary and the South Shore estuaries from Montauk, basically to the Queens line. Two things we're working on that fits in with the Green Guide. One, net nitrogen reduction policy. We're asking East Hampton and other East End municipalities to adopt this net nitrogen reduction policy, meaning for every bit of nitrogen you put in the water, you take at least that much out. That's how progress is made. Secondly, we're supporting local industries that are helping our water quality, one notably the local East End aquaculture industry, to create market-based solutions to water quality problems. Water quality problems won't be solved simply by government actions. They have to be solved by industry taking responsibility for their actions and doing things like aquaculture that improve water quality. But very happy to support the Green Guide from here.
Cordian Rocky, Renewable Energy, Long Island. I'm going to talk about greenhouse gas emissions and energy goals. The state of New York has some very aggressive greenhouse gas emission targets. 40% greenhouse gas emission reductions by 2030 and 80% reductions by 2050. Also a renewable energy mandate for utilities to meet half of its electricity supply for its customers from renewable energy sources by 2030. That's not a goal, that's a mandate. The town of East Hampton has followed suit in setting equally aggressive renewable energy standards, renewable energy goals to meet 100% of community-wide electricity consumption from renewable energy sources here in East Hampton, community-wide, not just town facilities, and then by 2030 to meet the equivalent of our entire energy consumption in the transportation sector, electric sector, heating sectors from renewables. To that end, the town has already embarked on a number of initiatives, including a very aggressive energy efficiency building code and code for pool pumps here in town, a program working with New York State to provide free home energy audits under the Long Island Green Homes program for existing homes. Also, the town has very much supported the offshore wind farm 30 miles offshore here, which will generate enough electricity for 50,000 average homes. The town is working with a LIPOC contractor, PSCG contractor, to reduce peak demand through smart thermostats and other technologies like that. So we're seeing increase in installations of solar panels. That's a very important part of this initiative, and we would hope that all of our elected officials and our candidates would join in making these things happen and make East Hampton and the entire South Fork really the leading edge of New York State's transformation to clean energy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kevin McAllister. I'm president of Defend H2O. I'd like to address climate change today and specifically sea level rise. While we applaud East Hampton Town for being proactive with their coastal resiliency plan, I believe more has to be done. The projections are alarming. By the 2050s, we're talking 16 inches to 2.5 feet. This is well-founded science that's been vetted, also adopted by New York State, put into their regulations. This is significant. At all costs, we have to keep the walls off our coast, off our bay shorelines, in all their forms. Geotextiles, vertical seawalls, rock revetments. I urge the town, while they've been active in acquiring some of these vulnerable waterfront properties and basically extinguishing use, we have to do more. There are certain areas, Gerard Drive, that is untenable. We have to withdraw from these areas. Lazy Point, downtown Montauk, with respect to the geotextiles. The town board really has to invest themselves in these discussions and be very proactive in relocation. Thank you.
I'm Kathy Cunningham. I'm the chairperson of the EHEC Coalition, which is a community-driven volunteer organization dedicated to returning the peaceful enjoyment of home and property to people affected by aircraft noise and gas emissions. We've been around for about 7 years, and we've been working really closely with the town board, and we've suffered some losses in the last calendar year. The town was really aggressive in trying to adopt some regulations to enforce curfews and other activity-limiting operations that would help with aircraft noise problems, but they suffered a loss in the second, third targeted last fall, so now we've got a whole new project ahead of us. So we're very concerned that town board candidates are paying attention to this issue, understand what the range of options are, which go from conducting a FAA-governed Part 161 administrative action, which has very limited opportunity for success, all the way through the unlikely and really unwanted option of closing the airport in order to address these issues. But we have about 4 years to get this together, and we hope that the town board candidates will be paying attention to that.
Hello, I'm Alexander Peters, president of Amagansett Springs Aquifer Protection, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to promote the Green Guide here, working with the New York League and the East Hampton Environmental Coalition. It's very important for voters to understand their choices, and it's very important for voters to make their wishes known, and that the town has repeatedly shown that it wants more aquifer protection. This is what this present town board has run on, and it is really time for the present town board to put the foot to the floor, the pedal to the metal, and to bond once again for more preservation, more conservation of land to protect the aquifer. We hope that this town board will take its last gasp seriously, and that voters will vote for the most aggressive politicians who are going to take that line and push for the conservation that everybody in the town of East Hampton knows that they need and want. Thank you.
Okay, I'm still Jim Matthews, and I want to talk now about the Northwest Alliance, which is an organization that I've involved with for many years. The organization started in 1981 by some Bay persons who wanted to preserve it, and indeed that the entire area surrounding Northwest Creek has now been preserved. But unfortunately that lasted only for about a few years when the brown tide moved in and decimated what was one of the most pristine estuaries in the Northeast. And since then we've been trying to recover, and one of the things that's gotten in the way of recovery is the development of a sandbar at the inset, and we've been trying to get permission to dredge that. Well, we finally got it 10 years ago, and we're still waiting for the support to, in fact, do the dredging so that water can be restored to the nether regions of the creek, and we can rebuild the wildlife and the shellfish life that we're sustaining for this community. Also, at about 70 years ago, the WPA program decided to deploy people by having them dig ditches to cure the mosquito problem. Our whole area is straight with ditches. It turns out that that does not help with the mosquito problem. On the other hand, it endures and continues to leave gaping scars in our area. We're working now to develop, with the town Natural Resources Department, to develop alternative strategies for how to structure the shape of the land in our area. All of which is made necessary by the fact that global warming is clearly in our area causing an advance of species that reflect changing water levels and changing temperatures. We need to be able to respond to that, and we need the resources to do it. Finally, we've been having a problem that Kathy mentioned earlier, which is that our park, our nature preserve, has been dedicated to the protection of the population from aircraft noise. That is, the biggest portion of aircraft coming and going from East Hampton Airport goes over our parkland, as though that was somehow or another a good way to deal with pollution. I'm glad that we don't dump other forms of pollution in the creek, but somehow or another the dumping air pollution seems to be a fine idea. And we've been fighting that for some time along with Kathy's group, and are hopeful that at some point maybe someone will take that into account. In any case, that completes our discussions today, and I want to thank all of our members for describing briefly their programs, and I want to thank you all for attending, and I hope that in 2 years we'll be here again and have progress to report. Thank you.